Hello, I'm Carl Turner from Expat Tax Thailand, and we help expats here in Thailand all looking to move here understand their Thai tax filing obligations so they can make better informed decisions. We work with people moving here every single week, and we see the same mistakes over and over again when it comes to buying property or renting properties. And the truth is, people spend a lot of time asking questions, and it'd be really simple to ask an expert about this situation. So what we've done, we've brought in an expert, Sathida from Lazudi, to answer some of the most common questions that we receive from clients. So welcome, Sathida.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Thanks for joining. So whether you're thinking about buying in Bangkok or Pattaya or Hua Hin, Koh Samui or Chiang Mai, or you're considering renting long term as a digital nomad or retiring here, we'll answer the questions and help you save thousands of baht with some common issues. So Sathida, she's representative for Lazudi, who are a property company. They combine local agents with smart tech to make buying, selling, and renting homes here in Thailand simple and transparent. I've used them before, very easy to work with. And they work across all of Thailand. And the goal is to help expats and Thais navigate the market and find out the right property without the overwhelm. So, welcome again. And thanks for taking the time out of your day. So, let's start with the basics. What are the main differences, Constantida, with buying property in Europe or USA regarding it compared to Thailand? So can foreigners own land here? What are the rules? Can they own houses or land, or is it only condos that they can buy?
Foreigner can own 100% freehold condo for the house, villas, and the land. There's the option to buy under Thai company or leasehold.
Okay, so there are options also for houses if they want to buy a house also. It's not just condo
Yes,
market.
yes, they can buy houses very easily. Most of the $1 million house or villas in Pattaya owned by foreigners. As you know, they move
Yeah.
the money here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. So there are a lot of options still, even though online people sort of say you should just look at condos. There's a lot of options with villas as well. So how does it work with for leasehold structures? For houses and villas. This 30 plus 30 plus 30 structure. Is this available, Concertida? Are there any other options? So people can lease the houses long term, but they can still buy houses as well. Sathida, is that right?
Yes, if they buy the house here, if the customer want to choose the option for lease, they can do 30 years plus 30 plus 30 by
Right.
register at the land department. Yes.
Okay, great. So they've got options for that as well. If they have a Thai spouse, for example, then there are options to put the land in the spouse's name as well, right? That could be an option, I guess.
Yeah. Yes, correct. If they have like Thai spouse, Thai wife, then you can put the Thai name or even set up the Thai company. Both of them can sit as a director.
Right, right. That makes sense. So what about condo ownership? So apartments, condominiums. What are the options, in the region that you work, that you specialize in, which is Pattaya region? Is that right?
Yes,
Sativa?
Pattaya mentioned.
Yeah.
Even the condominium is more easier because the foreigner can own the condo under his name or her name.
Is that freehold, leasehold? How does it look? How does it work here in Thailand?
Yeah, most of the condominium in Pattaya, they are freehold. So if you buy the condominium, so you got freehold, you got your name under behind the title deed, 100%.
Right,
Yeah. So, but there is some certain percentage of the total building that you own 49% of the sellable area.
right. So there's a lot of options. And also there's a lot off plan, right? So there's options for off plan before they're developed and once you've actually got is the word that you use with stock. What what do you say? What are the terms that you use for different options? So people that want to get a better price and buy off plan, or they buy second hand or something that's already built. What are the options?
Yeah, option for the off plan is very interesting because you get 20 to 50% lower than the completion price that I can see. My experience here in Pattaya, more than 10 years, I can see some condo double price for especially beach front.
And I guess that's the risk that they take on. It's not fully built. They have to keep hold of it. So for that, they reward them quite heavily with a big discount, I assume.
Yes, normally we take care of the customer, so we will see the developer, the background, and then we will suggest, we work with the good developer,
I guess that's the
reputable.
key, isn't it, Sathida? I mean, that's why you need a local expert like yourself and Lazudi to look into this because it can save you a
Yeah,
world of headache and make things easy if you use the right agent
correct.
that can find the right developers, I guess.
Yes, we work with only good developer and reputable. Yes.
Yeah, right. How do you do the checks? What due diligence checks do you do on the developers? Is it really like a track record you're looking for, or that they've got cash flow? How do you check this? What do you do?
So we check like what background of the developer, how many projects they have done. For example, they buy this land. Is this like pay off land in the company registration? How much the registration capitals can pay back to the buyer? So we check all this detail.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good that you do the due diligence. So let's assume that I find a property that I like online through your website, through
Yes.
Lazudi. What are the next steps if I want to buy? So let's say find the right house. What are the next steps with the seller and the
So
title
if
search?
yeah,
What's the whole process? That'd be really useful because it's easy for me to look online and find something, but what's the practical steps then from that point onwards?
our company has so many deals from the video call, so which we call virtual tour. So the agent go to the, for example, you like the condominium, this one.
Yeah.
So the agent will do video call and inspect the room, everything. And we have transaction from the video call. And then after
Right.
that, pay the reservation, 10%. And then within 1 or 2 weeks, we can go transfer easily. We check all the paperwork for you, everything, title deed, the juristic, and the owner.
So really you can hold their hand the whole process. And you help them with the due diligence checks as well. Do you help them with that to flag up if there are any issues or anything like this? Do you help the customer?
Yes, we need to check the paperwork for the buyer that we go land department, we check the updated title deed and also check the debt from the owner on any debt in the condominium or not. So we check all the paperwork. It's like we're the lawyer. We
Right.
will do everything, to make things completed and no
Right. Great.
problem.
Yeah. And now let's talk about money. So, and taxes and costs. When someone's buying a property in Thailand, what are the costs? So, shall I run through the ones that I think are relevant, and then you can actually tell me the real rules. So, there's a transfer fee, right, which is 2% that's paid at the land department when on the transfer date. Is that usually paid 50-50, or how does that normally work, the transfer fee?
Normally, in practical, it's 50-50 between the seller and the buyer. But
Right.
it
Okay.
just depends on the seller condition. Sometimes they just want to sell fast. So maybe the seller, okay, I pay for the tax.
Right. Great. So that's negotiable, right? That's
Yes.
one thing they can negotiate. Okay, good. And then what about this special business tax? Is that when you're selling the condo, if you sell it within 5 years? Is that right?
Yes. If the condominium is older or less than 5 years, so the tax will be more heavy, like total tax and the transfer fee will be maximum like 6.3% in total.
So it's really important that if people are buying that they go, in my opinion, they go through an agent like yourself just to double check what are the pluses and is that taken into account before you get to the stage of transferring money, right? Because it can be a big impact if that's not dealt with.
So
Yeah.
before transaction, I will check the paperwork and the tax and transfer fee and let the buyer know first what is the cost. We break down for the buyer to know what expenses that he need to pay.
I assume that's the 2% transfer fee up to 3.3% for the special business tax if the
Yes.
properties, is that for new buildings or what?
Less than 5 years.
Less than 5 year.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, clear. And then stamp duty 0.5% as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. And the stamp duty, is that always paid by the buyer? Is that right?
In Pattaya, in Bangkok, it's different. In Pattaya, normally the total cost, it happens at the land department expenses is 50-50.
It's just something for people that are looking to buy here to consider that they need to add this on top or at least see who's paying what. What about withholding tax? There's withholding tax as well, or is this only for companies?
Yes. So all expenses,
Okay.
if less than 5 years, is not over than 3.6%. So we break down 50-50. And if
Right.
over than 5 years, it's about 3.3% total transfer fee and also taxes.
So, and also for like agent commission fees, things like this, usually that's paid by the seller, right? So, unlike other countries, it's actually the seller that absorbs this cost, right? So, for the buyer, using an agent makes sense here because they don't have any extra cost to pay. Is that right? Is that usually how it works?
Yes, correct. It's all the prices, including the agent already. So the buyer
Right.
don't need to pay the agent fee here.
Yeah, that's great. It's different to a lot of countries, right, where they
Mhm.
can get a bill as well. So that's good. So let's say I agree to buy a condo. What's the normal payment process and how does it work with the real estate agent and the land office and the owner? They touched on it earlier, but it'd be good just to understand and time
For, ex-
frames. Yeah, that'd be
yeah.
really good.
For example, you decided to buy this condominium already. So I check the due diligence. It's okay. Okay, you want to pay the deposit. You transfer the money from overseas to Lazudi account, and we hold the 10%. It's about 10%. So we
Okay.
hold 10%. So within 1 week, 2 weeks, we go for transfer at the land department. So once we see the title deed is under my buyer name, you transfer total 100% to Lazudi first. So we hold a cash check. When we see the title deed, your name behind the title deed, then we issue the check to the like hand to hand to the seller. So that is
Right.
safe, very safe.
Yep. So how long's the process? Let's say all goes well and everything's, on time and everything's correct. What's a good typical turnaround time from, how long
Within
does it normally take?
since the first day of the deposit until transfer, not over than 3 weeks.
So you mentioned you did touch on, we talked about buying off plan, um, and also the problems of avoiding and using a reputable developer. I really think that's really important to understand. But the discounts can be quite substantial, right? You can get a good deal if you are looking off plan. But I guess it's just that risk that risk reward, and is it right for everyone? But you've seen some good ones. You've dealt with quite a lot of good ones for that for buying off plan, right?
Yes, I recommend my investor to buy off plan because off plan normally you have to pay 50% before the building is complete. For example, the condominium is 6 million. So you pay 3 million before the building completed. But of course, it's the payment term. And then when the building is completed, the price go up maybe 8 million baht. So you get
Right.
profit already. But you
Mm.
pay only 3 million, then you get, you know, 4
Yeah.
million, 5 million.
Right. Typically in Thailand for buying, we don't really see, my experience is foreigners don't really get mortgages in Thailand, right? It's usually cash buyers, is that right? Or the mortgage in a property overseas and using that money to buy. We don't really
Uh,
see many, it's not easy to get credit in Thailand and it's not common, is it, to see?
like foreigner like to, oh, okay, I mortgage from my country, then I do it. I send the money to you. But most of them, after talking to me, then pay cash is more easier and more
Yeah.
faster. Yes.
Yep, great. I mean, you've got a bias because you're working in you're the one of the experts in Pattaya. But what about the other locations? So, what's best for retirees? So, obviously, there's Bangkok, Phuket, Hua Hin, Samui, Pattaya. What's the difference between these locations? I assume Bangkok's a higher ticket price than Phuket, I imagine. But what's the difference between these locations that you see? Is it more houses in Pattaya and Hua Hin, or what? How does it look, the market?
Every region has very specific and character itself. But for me, Pattaya, you can still buy a touchable price, which is Phuket is like maybe for the price and the value land is more high for the high-end property. But Pattaya is for more, you can buy like from 2 million up to 10 million or even 50 million house you can buy. So many range and you still buy the good price one.
Right, right. Yeah. So for value for money,
Yes,
that
it's
is
better.
still a good option. Good. And also, I guess similar is Hua Hin for people as well, I guess. I guess that's also a good option compared to, say, Phuket or Samui, I assume, for value.
For me, they got different character. For Hua Hin, also quiet and easy. There is good villa, which is like 10 million. You can buy in Hua Hin as well, but it's far
Right.
out from the beach. So it's depend on you like to be quiet, or
Yeah.
Pattaya is like 10 million. You can be near beach or near
Right.
walking street, the entertainment area like that. So it's depend on
Right.
lifestyle.
Yeah, okay. Well, what I thought is, let's have a look at a budget, right? It's for typical people that are signing up in the home country. They've got some money. How far does it go in different locations? A bit of a quiz for you, Sathida. So
No
let's say
problem.
someone's got 600,000 US dollars, so 20 million Thai baht or
Mhm.
whatever currency equivalent, so 500,000 pounds or 500,000 euros, so 20 million Thai baht. What does that buy you in Bangkok? Not very much, right? Would it be a what kind of two-bed condo? What would you get in Bangkok compared to say Pattaya for 20 million?
20 million baht. I'm not sure can buy two bedroom in Bangkok, in Thong Lo or not. I'm not sure.
Right.
But in
Yeah.
Pattaya, you can have big villas like uh, 600 square meters land with a private pool, fully furnished. 20 million Thai baht is considered luxury to buy the property here in Pattaya. You can
Right.
you can
Okay.
be a king in Pattaya actually.
Right. Okay. And what about in Phuket? What does 20 million get you? I guess that gets you a small condo, I imagine. I
Yeah,
don't, can you get
20
a
million cannot buy the villa in Phuket
yeah.
because the land price go up very high.
Yeah, yeah. And what's the typical price now? Just obviously not beachfront, talking beachfront, but for a 3, 4 bedroom villa in Phuket, new. What's a reasonable entry price now?
You can buy condos start from 6 million also can for the
6 million,
condominium,
right, for
yes.
condo. And for Samui, similar to Phuket pricing?
Sumo is for luxury high end, but you get a good quality, good neighbors, good developer, and the god character itself for Sumo. Different.
So out of all the regions, Hua Hin as well, I assume for the similar amount to Pattaya money, you'll be a little
Yes.
further out in Hua Hin, I imagine. I don't know. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, yes. For him, you got privacy for the land, big land, and this 20 million can get a very big land and also private villa far out from the town, but you got a good quality and
Mm,
quiet.
yeah, yeah. Okay, let's talk about condos. So, for convenience, let's say we're half the budget, 10 million Thai baht. What can you get in Pattaya compared to Bangkok?
Million can buy two bedroom here actually, like near the beach also.
Right, okay. Yeah, so you can really punch above your weight in terms of the amount you spend. And if they would like more information from yourself about what's available, how can they get in touch? I'll add your WhatsApp. Is that the easiest way to get a hold of you?
Yes, please WhatsApp me the information. Then I get in touch with you shortly.
Yeah, great. So I guess also there's some benefits to being in, say, Pattaya or Hua Hin rather than Bangkok. I assume that's if you want golf courses, if you want international hospitals, it's better there than let's say Samui or Phuket potentially. But I mean the good thing with Pattaya and Hua Hin is the access is simple for Bangkok, right? And also the hospitals down there are quite good as well.
Pattaya is also very easy. 1.5 hour traveling from airport to Pattaya, and there's international hospital here in
Yeah.
town. It's just in downtown. So
Yeah.
food is like international food. So I think you're very convenient here. No traffic, not like Bangkok.
Yeah, makes sense. And also, if people are moving with a family, how about the schooling? down there.
There's an international school like Rabbi International School here, and so many international school here in Thailand. Yes.
There's a lot of options, right? It's changed a
Yeah.
lot over the last 10, 15 years, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, I mean, realistically, let's say someone's got a condo now, what are the common like maintenance fees that they're going to pay for like a mid-range condo now? How much are the fees per month that they're going to be spending, like the cam fees, or what does it sort of look like? Or does it vary from building to building? How does it look?
From the old building right now, it's about 30 to 50 baht per square meters per month. But
Right.
for the new building right now, it's 60 up to 80 baht per square meters per
Per
month.
square meter. Right. Okay. So to go to do the calculation and run through. Yeah, but I think that's good to discuss with people like yourself before people go to buy. What are the ongoing costs? And what about renting market here in Thailand? How does that look? What's the minimum terms? What do people need to do? Do you recommend people move across to look to buy, and what's the market for renting like here in Thailand?
Regarding about the people move to Thailand, some people is like family, they move for children to study in Thailand. So they have the budget to spend for the children, for the luxury villas, the condominium. So normally, if they like to stay in the villa, so it's 60,000 up to 200,000 rental here in Pattaya. So high
Right.
budget rental. So it's good for the investor to buy the property and rent it to these parents because normally they rent long term. So you will
Yeah.
get long term investment.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that leads on to the next one about the rental market. So it might be good for me just to explain about the tax implications, right, for the rental side of things. So if people do rent out their condo or they've got a villa in a company structure, then they will have to file tax returns for that income. So if it's a condo in their own name, then they have to file personal income tax return for the rent that they receive. The good thing in Thailand, there's quite a lot of exemptions and deductions and allowances. So they can take off 30% as a deduction straight away for the rental income. Plus, if it's in both names, then they can split the income, for example. And if they've got a lot of expenses, they can actually use the actual expenses rather than that 30%. So it can be quite good for rental market. But if they're renting it on short term, then that should be either through a Thai person or through a company structure. Because foreigners shouldn't rent on short term leases. But if it's a long term lease or they've got it through the company structure, then it's can be quite efficient, especially if they've got a company set up to receive the, let's say, Airbnb rental. Then they can look at how they structure to pay that out to themselves as an individual, whether that's through dividends or through consulting fees, for example. So there's quite a lot of options available. And if people do want to have a discussion about the tax side of things and tax planning for if they do have rental properties or they've got companies holding assets, our one of our businesses, Rental Tax Thailand, can help explain this, and we can help with the tax filing as well. So, what about one good question I thought might be good to ask you from your experience? What are the biggest mistakes you see from people when they buy in Thailand? Misconceptions or things that people do wrong when they do buy in Thailand? What are the things that you see?
If you buy the existing property, I don't see it's a problem because you buy, you pay, then you get property. But if you buy the pre-sale project, so you must study on the developer. So this is the big concern. That's
Mm.
what I suggest.
Or use a company like Lazudi to do that work for them, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. So if people go direct to the developer, they've got a lot of risk because they've got to do the due diligence themselves. They might not know the market, or there might be some information that you know about the developers, which ones are better and completed more projects or have got better cash flow to pay out. I assume that's right.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, makes sense. That is a big mistake people could make. But let's talk about the tax side as well for properties. So if they sell a property within 5 years, then they've potentially got this specific business tax to pay. Is that right?
Yes.
But the point is, if they sell, like you mentioned earlier, this
Mhm.
3.3%, you could negotiate if you went through an agent like yourselves and get the buyer to pay half or try and position that, right?
Yes. More easier. We
Yeah.
have all the expenses.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. And is there any other sort of taxes that they potentially pay on sale? I mean, there's a capital gain tax, but that's on the appraised value, right? And it's not the same as the purchase price. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's usually not such an issue, and it's already dealt with the land office before it's sold, right?
Right.
Well, I think that's been really useful for people to understand this. I think it might be good just to explain a little bit, but some of the common questions that we get about buying property is what puts people off looking actually is not a concern that I'd like to clear up. So if people want to buy a property in Thailand, a lot of people worry about what's the tax? What are the tax implications, personal income tax? Now, for a lot of people that are buying in Thailand, they are not a Thai tax resident in the year that they buy the property. So, what does that mean? A Thai tax resident is someone that stays in Thailand for 180 days or more in a calendar year. So, if they are a non-Thai tax resident, so under 180 days in that tax year, and they remit, so they transfer in money to buy the property, it's not assessable income in Thailand because they're not a Thai tax resident. So it means that for most cases, I assume most of your buyers are in that situation, have not actually moved here yet, or they've not been here long enough in that year,
Yeah.
that actually they don't need to worry about the personal income tax for this.
Yes. But
Yeah,
they don't need to worry.
yeah, correct. But if they do have questions, people do have questions about tax implications for foreign source income they bring into Thailand, feel free to reach out. That's what we help with people with day in, day out. But I think it's good to clear up just to help people understand that, it's usually for most people buying, they're not a tax resident and it's not foreign source income they're using because they're a non-tax resident. So that's important. So if people would like more information about Lazudi or yourself to help them with property purchase here in Thailand, how can they reach out to you? Is the best way is through WhatsApp,
Yes.
and you're based down in Pattaya?
Yes. I'm based in Pattaya.
Yeah, but if they go through you, then I'm sure you can help them with other locations as well, right? Introduce them.
Yes, sure. You can go to our website, lazudi.com, and you can reach every region. We have Bangkok, Pattaya, Hua Hin, Phuket, Samui.
All right, great. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for joining everyone that's joined. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're here to help.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ